and welcome back to Life in Pictures.
Welcome back. It's been a long time.
It has.
We completely wasted the month of October. You got one podcast, and it wasn't even a scary movie.
Well, listen, here's the thing. We are real people with real jobs and real lives. And as much as my husband would like for us to sit in this office and do nothing but talk about movies all day, we can't do that because we have a mortgage to pay.
It's okay. There's only like 3 people that listen to this, so like they probably know the movies we were going to talk about anyway. There's a chance we might have already talked about them with those people personally. So
true. So here's the thing. I immediately after Halloween this year really just felt like I needed some Christmas joy in my life. So usually we don't decorate for Christmas or put up our Christmas tree until after Thanksgiving. But it just felt like Thanksgiving was really far away this year. And I really just needed some Christmas spirit. So last weekend, we put up our Christmas tree, put out our Christmas decor, and whenever we do that, we have a tradition of...
we watch Home Alone.
Yeah.
Let's face it, once the Halloween's over, it's Christmas. I mean, yeah, you got Thanksgiving in between, but Christmas. That's the season you want to be in.
Yes.
And we watch Christmas movies basically after Halloween up through Christmas and sometimes afterwards.
Yes.
And who are you really if you're not going to watch Home Alone 1 and 2 at least once a year during Christmas?
I mean, the thing for me is I have to see those movies every year. And actually, there's quite a few other Christmas movies that I feel like are on the list. But it's interesting because I don't feel like movies that are made now that are surrounded around a holiday are as important to be watched every year.
Yes. Well, I feel like if you are around our age, Home Alone was definitely like the movie to watch for a little while during our childhood. I know you went and saw it in the theater because you're fancy. Mm-hmm. I did not see the first one in the theater. I don't remember why we didn't see it in the theater. I remember being familiar with it and seeing the commercials and everything. But we didn't get a chance to watch it until it came out on video. And I remember buying it from Costco and being really excited that we were finally going to get to see this movie. And just watching it like over and over again. And my brother and my sister and I would like set up these fake traps in our house and stuff like that. Yeah. And our parents didn't really enjoy that very much. But this movie was everywhere. Like everybody just loved this movie. It was gigantic.
I mean, it's so fun. And then looking back on it now as an adult, which we'll talk more about in a few minutes, but I feel like it can resonate with us because we were children at the time that the movie was made. Now we're adults, so we're kind of seeing it from a different point of view, but also our children love it and they watched it every year and want to watch it every year.
That's what I think is really cool. Like I've said with a lot of these other movies we've talked about, is it's like you get to pass that down to your kids and see them enjoy it. Or sometimes they don't enjoy it, and you're just like, I don't know why you don't enjoy this. I loved it when I was a kid, and you don't. But this one they do, which is nice. So that was cool to do that.
Now, I'm not sure if this movie falls into this category because I couldn't tell you when it was released. But
1990.
No, I know what year, but I meant like when exactly. Because our family kind of had a tradition every year where we would go to the movie theater on Thanksgiving after we eat. We go see a movie. So I'm sure it was around that time. But I do remember seeing both Home Alone and Home Alone 2 in the movie theater as a young child and just being like, wow, that's so cool. But it's interesting because now as I reflect on this movie as an adult, I have some questions.
Yeah, and I have some memories of Home Alone 2, but I'll save them till we get to that point. I did see Home Alone 2 in the theater, though. I will say that. I remember, like, probably like a lot of children who saw this movie, just being really inspired by Macaulay Culkin and thinking like, I want to do that when I grow up. I'll be an actor and it'll be a great experience. And it didn't happen. Probably much like it didn't happen for a lot of other kids.
But also think about, he was a child at the time of this movie, and how I think he had a lot of years where he was not okay.
Yeah. All right. You got to kill the mood.
Okay. Sorry.
I was trying to share a positive thing. Like he was inspiring me, and he's got these problems and stuff.
Anyway,
there's cons to every situation.
Can we just talk about the movie already?
All right, let's do it. Sorry for sharing that experience. You wanted
to be an actor, blah blah blah.
My broken dreams.
I wanted to be on Broadway. Nobody cares.
Oh, those Broadway people have problems too, right?
I'm sure they do.
It's not all just fun, happy songs all the time.
I'm sure it's cold there. Anyway.
It's very cold.
So
it's almost as cold as it is in Chicago, where this movie takes place.
Yes, so I feel like the first standout thing for me, every time I see it, every single year, it starts and the shot to the big...
Oh, speaking of which, our catchphrase, spoilers. If somehow you have not seen Home Alone or Home Alone 2 by now, first of all, shame on you. Second of all, they're spoilers. We're going to talk about this movie.
Honestly, why are you listening to this if you haven't seen it?
Yeah, but just in case, you never know, there might be some new people here. And if you are here and you're new, welcome. This is how the show works. We talk about these movies as if you've seen them. So if you haven't seen it and you want to before you listen to this, go see it first and come back and listen.
Even TJ has seen these movies.
Yeah, that's kind of the litmus test, but...
Okay, so I feel like the movie starts and you see this ginormous house. And inside this house are all these people, and they're getting ready for this trip. And my question is, this I think is the most important question of all. What the heck does Mr. McAllister do for a living?
Yeah, they never tell you. And I think a lot of people have been bringing that up in recent years as well. But it would be nice to know, what does he do? He's got this gigantic house. He's paying for 12 people or something to go to...
So many people.
To go to Paris. And, it's... I don't know. But whatever it is, he was very successful at it, apparently.
Yes. So, as an adult who has children and a house and, all those responsibilities and knowing what things cost, what do you do, dude? What do you do?
That would be nice to know. I don't think I've ever heard anybody explain it.
Yeah, so. Definitely not. But I'm sure that we're not the only ones with that question. In fact, I've seen other people ask it before.
Yeah, and the next one is, so Joe Pesci, who plays Harry, one of the robbers in the movie, which I guess by this point in the movie he's a robber because you've seen the posters and stuff. He's posing as a police officer, and he's just standing in their house. And basically what he's there for is he wants to find out what their security preparation is, so that they can more easily break into their house and steal their stuff. But I thought that it was weird that there was just a cop just standing in the house and nobody seemed to care. I know they were supposed to be busy and stuff, but obviously he's not a real cop. But even real cops, they don't just come and stand in your house.
Yeah.
If they were going to come to ask you questions or something, they would knock on your door and you'd go talk to them they don't just open the door and walk in your house and stand there.
Yeah.
So you happen to be walking by and then say, oh, by the way, what kind of locks do you got?
He literally was just hanging out in the living room.
Yeah.
And nobody thought this was strange.
It's just, I don't get it, but all right, whatever. So anyway, eventually he talks to Mr. McAllister. Peter McAllister is his name, played by John Hurd, I believe. God rest his soul. I believe he passed away not too long ago. There's cons to every situation, And so anyways, he talks to him. He finds out what he needs to know, and he leaves. And then you don't see him again for a little bit. Mm. And, they have their dinner. They have pizza delivered. There's 10 pizzas, I believe. $122.50 is how much it costs, plus a tip. Uncle Frank ain't going to pay it because he's cheap. It's his brother's house. He'll get it. He's only got traveler's checks. So they order plain cheese for Kevin, and they eat it all because his brother Buzz is a dick. And so after that happens, Kevin charges at him, setting up Frank for the classic line,
"Look what you did, you little jerk."
I still say that to people now, all the time. And about half the time, they know what I'm talking about, and the other half, they don't get it. But it's fun to say. Sometimes it's more fun to say things like that to people when they don't get it, as long as it's not something highly offensive.
Let's be real, though. Kevin kind of was a little jerk.
Yeah, but, still.
He was a little jerk. So he was acting like a little brat, like a spoiled brat whose rich-ass parents were about to take him to Paris. So.
And so, actually, I'm thinking you've probably seen this movie. If you haven't, like we said, go see it. Here's just a quick rundown of the plot. So they're all getting ready to go to Paris. They have a fight. Kevin wishes he didn't have to be with them because he thinks his life would be better without him. Power goes out. They're in a rush the next day to get to the airport. Then in their haste to get to the airport, they forget to take Kevin with them. He wakes up. He's by himself. These two robbers try to rob the house. He defends the house with a series of elaborate traps. And then in the end, they go to prison, and the McAllisters live happily ever after. That's it in a nutshell. Now, let's get to our personal opinions on it, so we're not bogging down the whole thing.
Okay. So, question. The whole, the power goes out.
Yes.
Sure. This is a different time. We don't have cell phones in this time. The way that you would be awakened if you needed to wake up early was by an alarm clock. Here's the thing. They have the airport shuttle vans picking them up at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. If you are a parent, that's like sleeping till noon.
Yeah, I don't know. I get up at, about 5:30, whether I like it or not, every day.
Not one person in that whole house, the 12 kids, the 4 adults, it could be more kids, I don't even know. There are so many people in that house. There's not one person in that house that woke up before 8. Not one. Not one.
Well, here's the other thing. Alarm clocks had battery backup features back then.
Okay.
You got to think that somebody in a house that fancy with all that money
right.
would have had that feature or had some other type of backup option.
Something. And if you've ever been the night before a trip, right? You don't really sleep very well anyway because you're kind of...
Yeah, you're wanting to make sure you got all your stuff ready.
Right.
Sure.
Nay. They oversleep. They're not packed. They're in a rush. Why are you not packed? Why are you not packed to go to Paris?
I'm going to buy you a shirt that says nay on it. That's like your new catchphrase. # nay.
I just have questions. And as an adult, I just feel very strongly. Okay, but then also...
If you want to interact with us on social media, use # nay.
Nay.
At Life in Pictures. What is our Twitter handle? I don't even remember. We're not really using Twitter much these days. I don't know. Yeah. At Life in Pics Pod, I think. Or
hang out with us on Facebook and Instagram.
Anyways, use that hashtag if you can find us.
But then my other question is related to this. Kevin doesn't hear any of this. He hears none of this. That house is so big that the 3rd floor is so far above people running and screaming to get ready that he doesn't hear it.
He had it rough that night. He had to go sleep on the 3rd floor.
8-year-old boys don't sleep in.
Yeah.
No, they do not.
That does not happen. That is a good question. And, it was like when he woke up, there was nothing left behind. Everything was like nobody was even there.
Yeah.
In their haste to leave, nobody left anything
messy.
Out or no
the
messes.
The kitchen was spotless. It wasn't spotless the night before when he spilled milk all over the place and there's pizza everywhere.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, they cleaned it up. That's what I told him. He was a little jerk and sent him to bed.
Okay.
That's why he didn't have to go sleep on the hide of bed with Fuller.
Yeah.
Because he would pee all over him. Which, Fuller, by the way, is Macaulay Culkin's real-life brother.
That's true.
Kieran Culkin. That's his brother. Anyways, so another good part of this movie, a classic thing people probably know the lines from is this movie that he watches called Angels with Filthy Souls. Now, this movie isn't a real movie. It was made up specifically for Home Alone. And it's got the famous line, "Keep the change, you filthy animal," which I don't know if that guy has a name like that character, but whoever that old guy is, it's always shooting people with the Tommy gun. Like, that's what he says before he kills this lady. No. And I don't know. But here's the other thing. Like, here's something that I feel like Home Alone maybe was ahead of its time. They have the pizza delivery, and I feel like they started this became a real life thing now that's still happening now during the pandemic. I call it the Home Alone delivery, where they leave it on the doorstep and get the hell out of there. And that's what happens. He plays that little clip from the movie. But the thing I don't understand is, like, I don't really understand why he was trying to scare the pizza guy. And then it's like, or like why he had to be anonymous with the pizza guy. The pizza guy doesn't care if you're home alone. He's just like, give me my tip. I don't care. I don't want to get involved. But instead he set up this elaborate thing with firecrackers and like throwing cash through the doggy door and all this stuff. And then the second thing is, like, how convincing is the audio on this TV and stuff that this dude really thinks he's getting shot at?
Yeah.
I mean, the firecrackers probably enhance it a little bit, but, like, good God.
And how would you get that timing perfect?
Yeah, I mean, you know, and then
the firecrackers would
light. And it's like some of those things, I guess you kind of have to suspend your disbelief. But anyway, since we're going over our questions, that's one of the ones I had.
So then at that point, they shoot to the plane, and Mom is like, I think I forgot something. And Mom and Dad are going back and forth. And finally she's like, Kevin! How did she know it was Kevin?
Yeah.
How?
Because, like, as far as she knew, they were all there when they got on the plane. I mean, I guess we're just supposed to believe that she has this amazing mother's intuition or women's intuition, whatever it is.
But she also she's not the one that counted the kids, so she has no idea which kids were there and not there.
But also, if her intuition is that amazing, how did she leave him home in the first place? Yeah. You know, like, I don't know. First time Harry and Marv go to break in, Kevin sees their shadows and he hears them, and he turns on all the lights to scare them off, and then he hides under his parents' bed. But, like, I don't. What does he really think that's going to do for him? If he, I guess maybe keep him out of sight. And
yeah.
But
then there's the old man, like the snow shoveling man, and before they left, Buzz tells Kevin this story about how he, like, keeps bodies in the trash cans with the salt or whatever, and
it turns the bodies to mummies.
Yeah, mummies. So, but my question here is, he clearly sees that this kid is home alone.
Yeah. This old man is like the most irresponsible neighbor in the history of time.
And maybe that's why his son didn't talk to him anymore. Maybe.
Because that guy clearly, he knows he's home alone. He sees him, and he's just, he's like, oh, okay, whatever. But the thing is, it's like, maybe once or twice you just, all right, I don't know, whatever. Maybe I don't know this kid that well. But, like, later on in the movie, they're in the church, and he sits down next to him. They have a full-on conversation. And he clearly, I don't know if, like, Kevin probably doesn't tell him that his parents aren't there, but, like, he clearly knows that his parents aren't with him at the church. And he doesn't ever ask, like, hey, where's your parents? Are you okay? Yeah. What's going on? Maybe I should wait with you till your parents show up.
Yeah, never once.
Maybe I should call the cops.
Cross his mind that maybe this little boy is by himself, and, like, maybe get some help for him. I don't know.
Just nope, nothing. He's just like, not my problem. Hey, hey, 8-year-old kid, let me tell you my problems with my own son and my granddaughter.
Yeah, it's very strange.
That's an age-appropriate conversation to have. Maybe you've got some powerful insights at the age of 8 that you can share with me on this problem, which he does, because I guess he's an advanced kid, clearly, if he's fighting off these two grown men robbers. But
so when Kevin's parents land in Paris, they call the police back home, and the police are really not much help either. So it seems to me that, like, everyone in Chicago that's supposed to be a responsible adult is not, in fact, a responsible adult. So basically the cops are like, what do you mean you want us to do police work?
Hyper lady on 2.
Yeah. So eventually they agree to go do a welfare check, and so Kevin just doesn't answer the door because he's still scared of the robbers and he doesn't know who it is. And so, but here's my question: how is that a welfare check? The guy knocked twice and then he left.
Yeah, he didn't really investigate all that.
You know there's a child in that house. You go in the house.
I mean, I don't. Maybe it's just
I'm not a police officer, but I think that's a thing.
Maybe it's just a commentary on how like apathetic they are in big cities. I don't know, man. Or it's I don't know. Maybe it's a mistake. I'm not sure. But that is an interesting question. And then when they're trying to get home, and they're trying to book these options, and then they say, "Well, what if we got a private plane? Because there's nothing." I'm like, "How rich are these people?"
Yeah, like rich people problems, please.
Yeah.
So then, Mr. McAllister, the dad, he suggests that they go to his brother's apartment so they can wait for the police to get back to them. And that just is very evident of the times, right? Like they don't have cell phones. They have to go to someone's house.
They had to be at the same place to be like, I'll be here. Call me here.
Yeah.
You can't just call a number that I'm going to have a phone on me wherever I go.
Right.
And then one question we had was like when Harry and Marv start robbing the house, or they're robbing their neighbors' houses too. And they have all of these like presents and stuff that they're stealing from under the tree, but like, if these people are going away for Christmas, they knew they were going away. Why are all the presents under the tree?
Yeah, like, it's a little sus.
You think they would take them with them to give to people, or they would just, they do it when they got back, but like, why would they have them? I don't know. I mean, maybe they would, but like, it just seems weird.
Yeah.
What else were we talking about? So then Kevin, for some reason, he likes to narrate everything he does. And he gets out of the shower talking about how awesome his shower was and how he's going to, he needs a new toothbrush. So he's going to go pick one up when he goes into town. But then he goes to like a freaking card store, like Hallmark. I'm like, why would you go to a Hallmark to buy a toothbrush? More importantly, why do they have toothbrushes there in the first place? And then secondly, this is the second time his like irresponsible old man neighbor runs into him. And instead of like saying, "Hey Kevin, how's it going? How are you doing?" Blah, blah, blah. He just stares at him like a weirdo and scares him off. Like, what are you doing, crazy old man? And so then we saw, he gets scared. He runs away. And this to me, I always think about this when I watch movies and sometimes even older movies, is like, you see these people in these very minor roles, and you're like, I wonder if that guy thought to himself at the time, like, oh, this is going to be my big break. And like, this guy's, I was the guy that yelled shoplifter when he ran away with the toothbrush. And
yeah,
I mean, I feel like I probably would do that. Like, I feel like if I was that guy, like, I probably would never shut up about that. I'd be like, hey, you seen Home Alone? That was me right there.
That's me. I'm Jimmy. Jimmy.
Shoplifter.
Shoplifter.
I'd have shirts that say shoplifter on them and stuff. I'd go to Comic-Cons. It'd be crazy.
So as Kevin is running away with his stolen toothbrush, he runs out in front of Harry and Marv's van as they're leaving one of the neighbors' houses. And Santa doesn't visit funeral homes, little buddy.
Yeah, so in my line of work, I drive a van around occasionally, and people like to walk out in front of it all the time. And I usually say that when that happens. I mean, they can't hear me because I'm in the van and they're not, but that's what I think to myself when people almost get hit by the van because they're not paying attention.
Yeah, and so then they say, why would you run? Because you're literally following him. You're two strange men in a big old van, and you're following a little boy. That's why he's running.
Well, here's my another question about that is like, they have that scene, and it's literally just him in their van, and there's nobody else in the whole neighborhood. Yeah. There's nobody walking, just happens to be walking by or driving by. Or I mean, I realize it's like the holidays and a lot of people are gone, but it's like literally no one else is in the whole city of Chicago except for them. No one in their entire neighborhood was there at all. Like that just seems a little too perfect. Which again, I mean, I guess, you're not really supposed to worry about those details, but just something I noticed.
And so then I guess he figures out that they're going to come to his house that evening. So he rigs an entire party. Like, how did he put that together in like a couple of hours?
Well, he becomes this master puppeteer. Apparently he carries those skills over into the sequel as well. which is, all right, cool. I guess this kid's got a pretty crazy skill set.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
I mean, for sure. So then when Harry and Marv come and they see this party, they're like, oh, well, we'll just come back tomorrow when everybody's gone. Like, how do they know everybody's going to be gone the next day? Especially a party like that. People might hang around for a few days.
Yeah, I mean, it clearly, according to what you thought, the plans have changed. So,
yeah.
I don't know. So, like, Peter's brother's apartment in Paris is gigantic. And we wrote down here what happened to Frank, but were we worried about Frank? What?
I think it's just like that. Obviously, Peter, is that his name?
Yeah, Peter's the dad.
Peter and the brother, the other brother, have all this money.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, that is a legitimate question because, like, Peter is very successful, obviously. His brother, Rob, I think is his name, as we learn in the second. Maybe we learned in the first one. I don't know. But he mentions it in the second one. Clearly is successful. He's got a place in Paris and a place in New York City. What did happen to Frank? He's just the one that he didn't get the memo or something, or he's the black sheep? I don't know. That is a good question. I see what that means now. Yes. Okay. Here's one that we wrote down. Little Nero's pizza looks really good. I want to try it. I wish it was a thing, or maybe it is a thing, but it's not a thing here. If it is.
I quoted my husband. I wrote this down. He literally said, dude, I want to try Little Nero's pizza. It looks so good.
It looks good. I want one. I want a lovely cheese pizza just for me.
Yes.
All right. We already talked about the tiny speakers on the TV, which nobody would mistake for gunfire.
Oh, okay. Here's one.
Oh, that's the thing, though. But after this delivery guy was so afraid for his life as he thought he was getting shot at, and he scrambled to his car, like, he didn't call the cops or tell anybody else at work or no. They're just like, nah, seems legit. I got pizzas to deliver. I ain't telling no one about that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many opportunities for somebody to intervene and help this kid out, and like nobody does. It's just mind-boggling.
So, a couple of times in the film, they show Kevin post-shower where he's having a conversation with himself. And he uses aftershave and it stings and he screams and he slaps his face and he goes, that was one of the, iconic things in the film. But like, if you know that the aftershave stings after the first time, why would you do it again?
But why does it sting though? I mean, it's just like cologne, right? Like cologne. I mean, maybe if you actually had shaved and you cut yourself or something, but I mean, clearly he didn't. I mean, is he just mimicking something that he's seen or like?
Possibly.
I think I remember hearing that like Macaulay Culkin ad-libbed that.
Oh.
Like, I don't think it was originally in the script, and he, for some reason, he just did that, and they went with it.
Right.
I might be wrong about that, but I feel like I remember reading or seeing that in something or.
That's possible. So then Kevin goes to the grocery store. He gets this entire cart full of groceries. He literally has $3 that
he's
he stole
got Buzz's
from Buzz.
life savings of $3. Then
my 8-year-old daughter, no way she could go grocery shopping on her own. I don't even know that she could push the cart on her own or do laundry.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's very realistic.
I mean, I guess he's supposed to be kind of advanced.
But also, like, I feel like a kid like that, who's coming from that type of family where, like, they have so much handed to them, he certainly wouldn't know how to do any of that stuff.
That's a good point, yeah.
You know?
Well, and there's another opportunity for somebody to step in. This lady sees this 8-year-old kid checking out in her line, and then she's just like, oh, what a nice young boy. Have a good day, sir. He's like, my mom's in the car. Okay, seems legit. Like,
yeah.
No, we don't care. I mean, it was the 90s. They didn't care. Where are we at here? I think we just wrote down, like, our observations that the actors are so young compared to today. I mean, Daniel Stern, I mean, I don't know how old they were, but it had to be, like, maybe early 30s if they were in their 30s at all. Mm-hmm. Or him anyway. I don't know. And it's just, it's funny how, like, when you were a kid and you were watching it, it's like they seemed like these are real adults. And now you look back on it, you're like, oh my God, look
They're
how young
younger
he
than
is.
me.
That's crazy.
When the mom is, snapping at the airline guy and she says, I haven't slept in 60 hours. I'm tired. I'm dirty. Like, I felt that in my bones. And then John Candy.
John Candy shows up as the polka king of Sheboygan.
Yes, very big in Sheboygan.
Yeah, and which is funny because the other day Stephanie was telling me something about Sheboygan, and she said somebody was talking to her about Sheboygan, and I said, "Oh, well, do they like polka?" And she was like, "No," and I'm like, "Really, polka? No, Damavuji polka, kiss me polka, polka twists." It was very big in Sheboygan. She's like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Never mind." But I think, speaking of John Candy, from what I've heard, is that he sort of like came and did the movie as a favor, and he kind of did it like on a day off from shooting something else. And I think a lot of his stuff was kind of ad-libbed as well.
That makes sense.
Which John Candy was just brilliant. If
Yeah.
you're not familiar with John Candy, you should go watch some of his movies. But again, if you're not, then why not? Come on. It's John Candy.
So,
all right, sorry.
No, you're fine. So then at this point, Kevin decides he wants to go visit Santa. And he tells Santa that all he wants is his family back, and he gives him Tic Tac.
Yeah.
But again, no questions as to why this little boy is alone.
Yet another opportunity for an adult to step in and help this kid. But like the lady that talks to him at first don't care. The guy that plays Santa don't care. Nobody cares. They're just like, oh, it's fine. Here's a Tic Tac. You'll be okay.
And so then he goes to the church. He
Yeah.
has this whole philosophical conversation with the old guy.
Yeah.
The old guy clearly sees that this kid is alone.
Yeah.
And doesn't say, you know what, let's go talk to the church people, or like, where are your parents? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Clearly, you could have told the pastor, if nothing else, they would have given him a place to stay or something. I mean, he's
they
in
probably
Chicago
would have
by
put
himself.
him in like touch with the police or something.
Yeah.
But like, how unsafe that this little kid is literally running around Chicago alone at night. He's 8 years old. I wouldn't let my 8-year-old run around, and we live in a very safe neighborhood. Like, NO, people.
So that's kind of, it's funny because like that's just sort of the differences between when you're a kid watching this and when you're an adult. And you're like, oh my God, this is so unsafe.
But also, I think the big question is, like, how would this 8-year-old know how to set up and execute these very elaborate traps like he did? These are pre-internet days. It's not like you could like Google like how to burn a bad guy or something.
He's just got the twisted mind of a child, I guess.
Genius, and he just know like the level of genius that he would need to be to execute some of the things that he did in this movie.
Yeah. Well, let's just talk about that, though. I mean, from the other side of it, like Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci did such a great job in this movie. And it's funny because, like Joe Pesci is obviously didn't really have a reputation for being a comedic actor, which I think kind of adds to the experience. And he kind of invented his own little language where he's kind of mumbling to himself because he didn't want to swear, which is kind of a nice touch. It's funny. It's funny to see their reaction.
It's very funny.
I enjoyed that. I enjoy that as an adult.
And they're Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci are two very different types of actors. So for them to be like partners and it worked so well. Like it was such a good duo, but you probably wouldn't like have thought that it would be.
Yeah. I love some of the lines that they have where, Marv makes up this calling card for them. They're the wet bandits. We're going to leave the water running in every house that we hit. And Joe Pesci's just like, you didn't turn the water on again, did you? Like, I told you not to do that. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, so we had to obviously tell our children not to try these things because they will kill someone.
Yes.
But I also don't think our kids could execute those.
Yeah, I don't want to find out. I don't,
Then I had like a wait moment because now he calls the police. I thought the phones weren't working. Wasn't that the whole premise of all of this? Like The phones weren't, they
Yeah.
went down when the power went out, and it was going to take them days to get them back, and that's the whole reason why Mom couldn't call the house.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they obviously fixed them, but yeah.
And then at that,
I love
then
the
my
way
question is, why isn't the dad still trying to get through?
Yeah. I love the way that he called. I didn't catch this until just recently, but he calls up and he tells them, "My name is Murphy." And I'm like, "Why? You don't need to tell him your name." But then I caught on that like earlier in the movie where Harry and Marv were robbing their neighbor's house, it was the Murphy's house.
Yeah, and that's where he.
So I guess he was like pretending to be his neighbor. But this whole time I've been watching this, I never caught that detail. And I was just like, why does he tell him his name's Murphy? That's so weird.
Yeah.
And
so the cops come and they arrest the wet bandits, and of course Marv is telling like all the things that they've done because he's proud of himself.
Here's one more detail though. Like Harry and Marv catch up to him and they get him and they hang him up on the door and they're about to bite his fingers off when the old man next door comes back with a snow shovel and knocks him out, right? Here's yet another opportunity that this guy could have taken Kevin to his house till it all was taken care of.
Yeah.
But what does he do? Oh, let's get you home. Like, you're just going to take this kid home by himself and say, have a good night? Like,
And
what the hell?
Apparently, the cops didn't do any questioning of Kevin because they didn't take him.
The cops didn't come to his house at all. Kevin's watching him through the window, waving at him, and the cops are just like, that's cool. We got what we came for.
I'm thinking about the fact that, like, you got this, like, this kid's left home alone. You know that. Your station knows that.
Yeah.
And yet, you don't think to, like, check to see if he's okay when you're dealing with this other situation.
Yeah, it just seems very, very suspect. Eventually, his family makes it home.
Yep.
And everything's good. He tells him he got milk, eggs, and fabric softener, and everybody has a good laugh, and they all live.
He sees the old man.
The old man mends fences with his son and his granddaughter.
This time he's in the light. He's not scary anymore.
I'm not afraid anymore.
How much do you think therapy's going to cost?
I don't know. Maybe he didn't get it, man. Maybe he just,
well,
it was the 90s.
Stay tuned because something happens again. Although I think we might have to do a second episode because we talked a lot about Home Alone.
Oh no, we don't have to do a separate one. We got plenty of time. This is a two-parter.
Okay.
We've been absent for over a month.
Okay.
These three people want to hear what we have to say.
All right. Okay.
We're going to give them the value for their time.
Okay. I tried, people. I'm sorry.
Just when you thought it was safe and everybody was living happily ever after, bam! Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
So this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think I actually like Home Alone 2 a little bit better than the first one.
Well, yeah, Home Alone 2 is very good on its own. I don't know if I have a favorite in this series, but I'll share some of my memories of it, like I said I was going to earlier. So I actually did see this movie in the theater, and I remember there was like a bunch of people, or it seems like it was a bunch of people we went with. I think it was like my brother, my sister, my mom, and like maybe some of the neighborhood kids or something, because I remember like a big group. And I remember that I was like very behind on my homework. And my mom was like, you're not going to go see this movie until you catch up on all your homework. And I had like a whole week of work that I didn't do, that I had to do in like a few hours so I could go see this movie. And I remember wanting to see that so bad that I did it and we went to see it. And it was great. So, those are my memories of seeing this movie in the theater. Do you have anything like that to share?
I think that was probably like really the first time where I fell in love with New York City.
Yeah.
And like really wanted to be there and be a part of it, and like just seeing it in the theater on the big screen and the tree, and I just have this love for New York at Christmas time, and I think this is where it started.
Yeah.
So, in the beginning, I wasn't very sure if this was supposed to be the very next Christmas, if we were supposed to know, but there are a few things that are said later on that, like, yes, this is the very next Christmas.
So clearly these people, they, they never lose their luggage.
Yeah. And then I had to wonder, like, would this franchise have been as successful without the main cast that it had? And in this case, even the supporting cast, because I feel like the supporting cast in the second movie was very strong. Like all the people that worked in the hotel and
you had Tim Curry, you had Rob Schneider.
And the fun music. Like I think that there's just so many different pieces that make this the classic that it is, that I think if any one of those things was missing, maybe it just would not have hit the same way.
Yeah.
That's just...
yeah. I mean, I think that music can be... Oh, and John Williams did the score for both movies. Legendary film... I don't know, scorer. I don't know. What do you call that? I don't know. But yeah, he did Jurassic Park, Jaws, E.T., I want to say. A lot of famous movies. He's responsible for the score. And these are two more of them. Yep. Okay, so one detail we notice is that in this movie, Fuller is now drinking Coke instead of Pepsi. So maybe Coke ponied up some money or something.
Some kind of deal to switch it around.
Last year, Fuller had to go easy on the Pepsi. But this year, he's drinking Coke.
He's got Coke. And there wasn't so many warnings for him. He has so many Cokes. Ridiculous amount of Cokes. Like, what kind of parent lets their kid drink that much soda at bedtime?
Yeah, he'll pee all over you.
So Kevin has this new toy. Tell us about it.
Okay, yeah, so Kevin has this toy. It's called the Talk Boy. And really all it is a tape recorder. But this movie made it look like it was like the coolest toy that you could ever have. And in a way it was, because they manufactured it and sold it in stores. And all the cool kids had one of those things. Yes. And I was not a cool kid because I did not have one of those things. You didn't have a Talk Boy? No, I wanted one. I did not have that.
We had one.
So that was like that old meme where it said, we got Talk Boy at home. And, that kind of thing.
And they have like the different features on there to like slow your voice down.
Yeah.
Speed it up. Like, so, and that was just like mind blowing to kids in the early 90s.
The funny thing is, like, I actually have it's called a field recorder. It's a little handheld thing that people use, for interviews and stuff like that, a portable thing. And I was actually thinking of recording this podcast on that just to kind of get in the spirit, and then I kind of thought, well, that's kind of dumb. You can't tell what we recorded it on, so you can just pretend that we're doing that. But anyway, the Talk Boy was like a big deal at the time. You could go to Target and you could buy one for like $30 or something. Now you can't buy them for $30 because they're on eBay, and all of the kids that probably weren't even born yet when this thing came out are trying to sell them for $1 billion because they think everything that's old is like made out of gold or something. So it's like, no, I was there the first time. It's not that cool. It's really not. But that's beside the point.
So this movie, same premise. There's a house full of people. They're getting ready for their vacation. Kevin pisses everybody off. And then they go to bed.
Yep. And before that happens, though, they're getting ready. The reason that he pisses them off is because they're having a performance at the school, and it's like a private school, of course, because they're loaded. And Buzz pulls a prank on Kevin. Kevin ruins the show. They all get mad. Before they're going to the show, he has to go in the bathroom and get his tie while his Uncle Frank is showering. And his Uncle Frank is listening to the song Cool Jerk and just like rocking out in the shower. And I wrote this down, or I mentioned this because this is funny to me. I don't even know what the actual words are to this song, but I made up my own words. And like in my head, the song goes, Willie Walker's walking down the street. Hey, hey, hey. And for some reason, that's just like hilarious to me. It's probably not that funny, but it makes me laugh when I think about it. And then I have to be careful because like, I know this happens to me a lot where I'll think of something really stupid that's funny and I can't laugh at it because then someone's going to ask me why I'm laughing. And then I'm just like, I would rather just not explain how stupid the thing is that I'm laughing at than just have you wonder why I'm laughing in the first place. Like,
but okay, also,
I don't want to have to say like, Willie Walker's a funny name.
At the most, it'll be the middle of the night. And he will burst out, like, he will be convulsing with laughter. So I think he's crying or something, like he had a bad dream. And I'm like, what's wrong? And he's like, ah, ha, 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 ha. And I'm like, what the hell is so funny at 3:30 in the morning that you are having this visceral of a reaction?
Sometimes I have funny dreams. Not my fault.
Anyway, so they go to the performance.
Willie Walker is a funny name. I mean, sorry if your name's Willie Walker. But...
So Buzz puts the candles behind Kevin's ear, and literally the entire audience starts laughing. Like, that would never happen. First of all, every single mother in that audience would be like, oh, hell no, you better stop right now.
Yeah.
Everyone was laughing. And so, of course, Kevin turns around and he pushes Buzz.
Well, here's another thing that would never happen.
Everybody falls.
He pushes Buzz, and like everyone, like people that weren't even anywhere near them, they all just fall like dominoes.
The lady at the piano.
The piano lady falls. The set falls down. It's like, that wouldn't happen.
So then Mom screams the infamous, Kevin!
As the curtains close.
Yeah.
And so then they go home. They have a family trial about it. He can't convince his family that Buzz was actually at fault, so he gets punished again.
But also, Buzz's apology was dripping with sarcasm, so phony. Any mom would see right through that shit. Like, right through it.
Here's the other thing about Buzz is, like, I feel like in this movie he was... Obviously he was older, but it sort of felt like maybe this might legitimately be a springboard for this guy.
Yeah.
To go to... Like, they was kind of more prominently featured and, like... It seems like he didn't do a whole lot, really, after this. I mean, I think he continued to act, and we actually saw him on Better Call Saul not too long ago. So he's still acting, and, I mean, he's not a bad actor or anything. It's just, like, he obviously didn't blow up like, Macaulay Culkin did or anything like that, which, I don't know, what might have been, I guess. But
so then Kevin says something to his Uncle Frank, which I just thought was so funny.
Wouldn't want to spoil your trip, Mr. Cheapskate. And then Uncle Frank says, hey, my brother paid good money for this. Which is great.
So here's the thing. She goes upstairs to the third floor with Kevin because he's being a brat.
Oh, I forgot one line from the first movie that I always thought was weird. Where he says, when I grow up and get married, I'm living alone.
I'm living alone. But the whole time, Mom is like back and forth with the 9-year-old. Kate, quit engaging with the bratty ass 9-year-old. Just stop.
Yeah. I guess maybe should we just do the plot in a nutshell again and then talk about the...
I guess.
Okay, so here's the plot in a nutshell. Spoiler alert, they leave Kevin home, or they don't leave him home, but they get separated. He goes to New York City on a flight. They go to Florida on a flight. And they're separated. They, obviously try to figure out where he is, make sure he's safe, blah, blah, blah. While he's in New York, hijinks ensue. He coincidentally meets up with the Wet Bandits, who are now the Sticky Bandits, after escaping prison during a riot and fleeing to New York City. And he once again has to have a showdown with them. He does have a showdown with them in the city. He emerges victorious again. He reunites with his family. They live happily ever after. So that's it in a nutshell. Obviously, it is more detailed if you actually want to go watch the movie. Chances are you've seen it already, but that's what happens. All right, so now to our personal opinions of the movie here.
Yeah, so once again, they've overslept this time because Dad unplugged the alarm and plugged it back in, and it
and they still don't have that battery backup, I guess.
But again, they learned nothing from the first time. Nobody got up, and they're not packed and not ready. Like, who does that?
Well, and then the other thing is, it's like, I feel like they had cell phones back then. Like, they weren't mainstream by any means, and they were those big bricks. But I feel like they might have had one. They were so rich, they had all this other stuff. Why didn't they have a phone?
I don't know.
Like, if anybody was going to have one, it'd be rich people. And they apparently did not have that. Our old man, irresponsible shovel slayer neighbor apparently is nowhere to be found.
Yeah, where did he go?
Did he die? Did he move away? What happened? We don't know. They just never talked about him again.
Yeah.
So maybe that guy wanted too much money. I don't know. There's this gag where they always hit the statue in their driveway. The airport shuttle, the pizza guy. Yeah. Everybody who goes there. Now, one thing that we noticed was, like, since they were in a haste to get to the airport, they hit the airport and they're all just rushing together to get to the gate to their flight. which just kind of screams that this is a pre 9/11 movie.
Yeah.
Because as everybody is well aware, you don't get to just show up at the airport right before your flight leaves and run to the gate anymore. Like, if you're not there a few hours beforehand, then too bad.
Yeah, you're missing your flight.
Which was a little bit of a sad reminder, but I don't know. Maybe it was...
But also, to me, first of all, that if this was now, they never would have made that flight. But baloney that mother would not be glued to that child.
Yeah, you would think if that happened to you literally the year before, you would do everything you possibly could to ensure...
Yes.
That, okay, he's
She'd
definitely
have one
here.
of those leashes on him. Like, there's no way that you would not have stock of where that child was. Maybe not your other children, because, I don't know. But, lady.
Yeah.
Come on.
So, yet another mystery in the Home Alone universe. Well, anyway, so... Once they go their separate ways and Kevin figures out he's in New York once he lands, he takes a taxi into the city and no, they don't. Well, I think they play this before he goes into the taxi in the city, but they're playing Tom Petty's Christmas song.
I think when he gets on the plane.
Yeah.
Because he puts it in and because he doesn't want to listen to that guy.
That's it. Yeah. Which was really cool because Tom Petty's our hometown hero here in Gainesville. So that was kind of a cool thing. I mean, obviously that song's always been in the movie, but it was just kind of neat. So you see some of the, he goes sightseeing around the city. You see some of these famous things. Another sad reminder is he goes to the Twin Towers. And he goes and sees just the observation deck and looks out over the city. And we were trying to explain that to our kids that, these were real buildings that people could go to. You could go up to the top and you could look out over the city, and it was like a big deal. And I was telling Colin about how originally when they made the Spider-Man movie that the Twin Towers were in the trailer, and he spun a web in between them, and then they took that out of the movie after the attacks happened. So, just a little aside there that maybe a happier time before a simpler time.
So my question is, nobody's calling DCF on these parents.
Yeah.
You've lost your kids. Or your kid. Again. Same kid.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe there should be a little bit of an investigation there.
Yeah. And, it says that is before cell phones, so they couldn't really call each other.
Right. And at this point, they have no idea where he is.
Yeah.
They don't know if he's in Chicago or where he is.
Yeah. Which is weird because it's I feel like they might have had a phone. But even if they did, they couldn't call him.
But then, why isn't this situation on the news?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't
That's the
airport...
other thing. Because I was saying that too. When they go to see the cops in Miami, and it's the cops, I feel like a situation like that would probably make national headlines. And it's nobody knows who these folks are.
Well, and not even to mention, why wouldn't the airport in Miami call Chicago and have somebody look for this kid's ticket? He obviously got on a plane or didn't get on a, he's somewhere. And then they would have seen that, the New York flight has this boarding pass to Miami. At some point that would have happened.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
There's a funny note later on in the notes here that I'm looking at. So I guess the next thing we have written down, sorry, is what are the odds that the bandits would end up in New York City?
Yeah.
When not only would they end up in New York City, but at the same time.
Yeah.
And run into each other. I mean, even if they did, New York City is a big place.
Yeah, it's huge.
They would run right into each other like that. The note after that is what I was laughing at.
It says it sounds like Harry calls Marv a dumb shit. What did he actually call him?
I don't know. I don't even know what part of the movie that's supposed to be. I guess when they're in the truck. I'd have to play it back, but I don't know. Then in Central Park we see young Susan Boyle as the pigeon lady.
Yeah.
Which is not actually Susan Boyle, but they have an uncanny resemblance to each other.
Yeah, and then shortly thereafter we have the cameo from Donald Trump.
Oh, geez. Don't even get me started on that guy. I have nothing kind to say about Donald Trump. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. So the hotel staff is A++. Here we go. Here's an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
How are you outsmarted by an 8-year-old if you work at the plaza?
Well, yeah, the thing that's weird is
9-year-old.
it's like he calls the plaza from their own payphone and he plays this slowed down tape of his voice that he used on his dog boy. And that's another thing. It's like you recorded this thing, and he did the same thing, I think, when he was ordering the pizza in the first one. I feel like, right? Wasn't that? No, he didn't have a tape recorder in the first one. But he ordered something else like that, right? Maybe? Or am I just crazy about that? I don't know. Anyways, I feel like, how... I mean, the answer is because it's a movie. But, like, he records all of these things are just, like, timed perfectly for this person on the other end of the phone to respond to. And, But I just love that he calls them up and says he wants an extra large bed. Like, okay. And then... The lady on the phone is like, seems legit. All right. Do you have a credit card? He's like, credit card? You got it. And she's like, all right then. And then it says, like, I'm Peter McAllister, the father. And it's like, why would you just randomly tell him you're a father? Because the lady on the phone doesn't know it's a kid calling her. And he's not trying to let her know that because that's why he made the tape all slow like that in the first place. So, like, that doesn't raise any questions. She's just like, nah, it's fine. Give me that money.
One thing, like, once he gets into the hotel and he gets to his room that I noticed, I don't think I've ever stayed in a hotel when the room key was an actual key, but in this movie it was an actual key.
I feel like I may have stayed in a hotel where there were actual keys. Not too many. I do remember thinking it was really cool the first time I saw a key card. So that must... I mean, obviously, like, that would have been when I was very young, so... I don't know, but I remember like, oh, wow, it's not a key. So there must have been at least a few times. But yeah, I mean, clearly, like, locks are not like that anymore. And it's also kind of hard to imagine that, like, a place like the Plaza wouldn't be, like, on the cutting edge of whatever the new technology was, Yeah. Especially when he's got this fancy, like, presidential suite or whatever,
Right.
Which, again, what does his dad do? That he just has his credit card. He's like, I'll charge a presidential suite at the Plaza. And they're like, yeah, that's fine.
No problem.
Yeah, Peter's good for it. It's cool. So anyway, he has some more hijinks here. There's a movie here called Angels with Even Filthier Souls.
Yes.
Which you wrote down filthier soups on here for some reason. I guess that's autocorrect. I hope it is.
Yeah, it was.
And filthy soup. That was not the kind of soup they got with room service at the Plaza.
So let's talk about the sketchiness of this motel that the family is staying at in Miami. No way are these rich people staying at this disgusting, horrible little... Ew.
Yeah, they're staying at this roadside motel.
Yeah, no
and
way.
It's just this little,
And of course it's raining, so their Florida dreams are squashed.
Well, the thing is, like, I think some of that kind of implies that, like, they're not familiar with Florida. And so they, clear, like, it's like they got taken, where, like, back then they didn't really have the internet. You couldn't log on and see a picture of the room or anything like that. But if you're that, like, well off, you wouldn't stay there. You
probably have a travel agent.
Yeah.
Especially back then.
Right.
Who would make
If you showed up to that, you'd be like, yeah, I'm going somewhere else. I'm not staying here. And then the other thing that was weird was, like, when they finally figured out where Kevin was, like, all of them were in one room. I'm like, if you got that kind of money, you wouldn't at least have booked a room for, like at least 2 rooms? Like, what? Yeah. That doesn't make any sense either.
Okay, so then the guy that works at the Plaza goes into the bathroom.
Oh yeah, so like so Tim Curry, who plays the I don't know, the clerk at the front desk, the concierge, is suspicious of Kevin. So he goes in to check I guess to try to catch him or whatever. And so Kevin has this blow up doll that he also uses his master puppeteer skills to make it look like his dad is showering while Tim Curry's. But like, there would never be a situation where there's like a concierge person would come into your room and start snooping around in your stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
And then go into the bathroom while you're in the shower. Like you would get a free stay there for the rest of your life.
Yeah, there's no way. And then like the silhouette on the shower curtain looks like a blow up toy. It doesn't look like a real person at all.
Yeah, not at all.
You know, so like I'm surprised that like his reaction was like, "Oh my god, he's in there! I better leave." And I was like, "What the hell are you doing, kid?" You know. Like,
yeah.
But you know, again, I guess the answer to that is it's a movie. But you know. Rob Schneider asks for a tip and he gives him fruit stripe gum. Mm-hmm. And then later on in the movie, he asks him, "Do you want a tip?" And he says, "No, I have some gum from last time." And then he pulls out a wad of cash and says, "Okay, no tip then," which was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Here's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. I would like to do this in real life. Where he calls the concierge and I guess they give him a limo because Tim Curry's trying to smooth it over from the shower incident. And they have a limousine and a large cheese pizza waiting for him. And Rob Schneider opens it up and says, "Here's your very own cheese pizza." And I just want to do that. I want to ride around New York City in a limo with my very own cheese pizza and go to a toy store. That's amazing.
It's literally Travis's dream.
Which they have a Home Alone 2 package at the Plaza.
Yes.
Which, if anybody here is listening from the Plaza, because I know you are. I mean, let's face it. What else do you have to do in New York City besides sit here and listen to podcasts?
Set it up.
But there's somebody in a position to make this happen. Please let us know. Because I will, I have a phone and internet access, just like all of these influencers that get stuff. So, I mean, for the sake of this, I'm an influencer too, and I have a phone and internet access. And the Plaza clearly needs to get their name out there, so they should give me some free stuff. I think
for sure.
So
one of the things we noticed was that it says that the room for his stay was $355.
Yeah, there's no way. Like, I mean, I don't know what that is adjusted for inflation, but even for like 92?
Yeah.
92-ish. I think it was 92 this movie came out. That seems a little on the cheap side for like the presidential suite at the Plaza Hotel.
So just for fun, we looked up a random Monday in the smallest room they have, and it was $800 a night.
Yes. And like we said, the smallest room, not the presidential suite. So he got a heck of a deal.
Yeah. I thought it was cool how Tim Curry's face, like his grin, morphs into the Grinch's face as the credit card comes back as stolen.
I like how he talks to Kevin when he comes back. "What's the matter? Stolen, take your stolen credit card."
Yes.
I kind of wondered, the last time we went to New York City, I kind of, like, we were in front of the Plaza. I kind of wish that I had my dad's credit card so I could just go book a room there. I didn't, but that would be cool. I can't do that anymore, but that would have been a cool thing to do. I think he would have been all right with it. I think I could have explained that away eventually.
So Marv and Harry are talking about their plan. They're the only two robbers dumb enough to rob a toy store on Christmas Eve. So then we see Duncan's toy chest, and it is goals. It is the ultimate toy store. I would like to go there. I don't understand why it doesn't exist, but it's beautiful.
Well,
and
they have FAO Schwartz, though.
It's not the same.
We went there, and they,
even the Toys R Us was like underwhelming.
All these kids were there,
No, I just didn't
what are
feel
all
like
these kids doing in the toy store? I know, that's how I felt, because they had the piano from Big. And I was
he was waiting in the line for it, and he was getting annoyed that
I'm
the
like,
children
listen, I'm
wanted to go ahead of him.
How old was I at the time? I don't know, 28 or something?
Yeah.
I'm a 28-year-old man. I can eat a chicken sandwich if I want to, and I should be able to play chopsticks on the big keyboard.
Yes.
These kids know nothing of Big. Nothing.
Okay.
That was my attitude, but I didn't actually outwardly say that because I'm civilized.
Duncan's toy chest is absolutely amazing, and like I wish there was a toy store like that because it's just so cool. But question, why would the owner be running the cash register?
He's cool like that. He's down to earth,
So Harry and Marv, they find Kevin, and they say, "Hiya, pal."
Yeah.
How did they know he wasn't with his family?
Yeah.
Like, how did they know that? Like, how did they know he was alone?
Yeah.
It just seemed a little sus.
Well, that's the other weird thing too. Is it's just like in this movie, there's a lot of people around,
Yeah,
and nobody says anything. Which I guess maybe it might be par for the course in New York City, where people are really apathetic about
but
stuff.
he's literally a little kid
but,
screaming
like,
bloody murder, and
yeah.
I know that it's New York, but come on.
And there's
man.
no like beat cops that are out there or anything. Like it's just I don't know. I mean, whatever. But it's a question. Another question. Then the weird thing was like he's trying to get away from them. He stops and buys these like pearl necklaces from this street vendor, and then they sit there and watch him break the things and pour the beads out, but they still slip on him. Like you saw him lay them out. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like I know they're supposed to be dumb, but like come on. And how come like nobody else fell on them? It was only them.
Yeah.
You know, I guess other people are smart enough to not walk right on top of them, but.
So Kevin gets back to the hotel and he asks them for help, and the concierge is like, "Oh."
The concierge is like, "What's the matter? Store didn't take your stolen credit card."
So he snatches the credit card and his money. So he runs upstairs. He uses his movie trick to get out of the hotel situation.
Which is also pretty funny.
But why didn't he just let them call the cops so he could get back to his parents?
The weird thing too is like in this scene, it's another movie with this old man killing someone with a Tommy gun.
Yeah.
So he does the same thing, and then all of these people, including the hotel staff, are like running for their lives. I'm like, how good are the speakers on this little TV that they think that there's a madman on the loose with a gun? Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I don't know.
But
anyways,
we see Harry again. He still has the M burned into his hand.
From the first movie.
One
of the traps from the first movie.
For some reason, Marv decides to tell Kevin the entire plan. Again, nobody does anything as this kid is being chased by two sketchy men. So he says kids are scared of the park. And in the first one, he says what?
He said kids are scared of the dark.
Yes. So Travis pointed that out. So Kevin goes to his uncle's house, but they're in Paris. The house is in the middle of being renovated. So he decides that he's going to figure it out. So then there's this cab driver, and he looks like he escaped a grave. And very scary. So
ain't
then,
much better in here, kid.
Yeah, he runs into the bird lady. She's like this movie's snow shovel guy.
Yeah. Where she's scary at first.
Yeah.
And then the more he gets to know her, that they become friends and she's not that scary anymore. Which, you know, the movie has, I mean, obviously it has a similar plot, but I mean,
yeah,
it's kind of the same movie.
It follows a formula.
Yeah.
And it works. I mean, you know.
Sure.
I thought it was very scary, the pigeons like flying in surround sound, because it was a very strange sound behind me. So that was something that I noticed when we were watching it.
We noticed that the plot of the Pigeon Lady was kind of similar to the Phantom of the Opera, where she lives in this theater. And that was interesting.
So when Kevin's parents finally get there, they say to the hotel staff, "What kind of idiots do you have working here?"
The finest in New York. Hashtag greatest city in the world.
Yes. So one thing that I noticed was at this point, the streets are like empty.
Oh yeah.
Completely empty.
Completely deserted, which was weird because it's like, yeah, I don't think New York's ever like that.
Yeah.
They don't call it the city that never sleeps for nothing.
Yeah.
Something's always doing something, even if it's just some like random drunk guy like on the corner, you know.
Right.
Someone's gonna be around.
Of course. So then we see that Harry and Marv, the way that they broke into the store was they simply stayed there when it closed. They were hiding in like doll houses. No one checked the store. No one checked the store. This giant toy store. There could have been a kid in there. I mean, you just don't know.
Yeah.
I thought that was a little interesting. So they're stealing the money, and Kevin calls out to them, and he takes a Polaroid of them, and then he throws a brick through the window.
Which was also interesting because, like, we had to kind of explain to our kids what a Polaroid camera was.
Right.
And we're like, hey, listen, if you wanted to take a picture and see it right then, this is how you did it.
Right.
But otherwise, you'd have to wait to get your film developed. What's film?
Yeah. But also, he's just carrying around a Polaroid camera. That's kind of...
They're just like, oh, that's cool. I want one of those. I'm like, you don't need one of those. You have...
So then Travis made a very astute observation.
Yes, I observed that Home Alone is kind of like the kids' version of Die Hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of is if you think about it. You know, it's always Kevin fighting people off on Christmas.
Yeah.
You know?
So Mom goes to the uncle's house, knocks. He's not there, so she leaves. Literally, she pulls away and he runs back up. What are the odds in New York City that you miss each other by that? And then he climbs in through this, like, tube that they're using for the renovation. It's got to be filled with asbestos. This kid would die.
And then the sticky bandits show up at this house that his uncle's apartment that they're renovating. First, what's another thing? What does his uncle do that he's got this giant apartment in Paris? He's got, it appears like he might even own this whole building.
It's a whole brownstone
in New York City.
A whole brownstone.
So what do the McAllisters do? Holy cow. But anyways, beside the point, Harry yells out to Kevin, "Nothing would thrill me more greatly than to shoot you," which is amazing. But also, like, nobody else hears this. Nobody thinks it's weird.
Yeah.
You know. But I love the way the antagonistic relationship that there is between Harry, Marv, and Kevin. Yeah. I feel like they must have had a lot of fun making the movie. I mean, I don't know that. That's not based on anything. It just kind of looks like it to me.
I pointed out that I think that Daniel Stern is just absolutely excellent at playing a complete moron. But if you took that many bricks to the face, you would no longer have a face.
Oh yeah, there. I think a lot of these traps would definitely kill you, no question about it.
Yeah.
Which is another thing we had to explain to our kids. We're like, hey, look, I know you're probably not going to, but just so you know, there's a reason why this isn't a movie, and it's funny in the movies and not funny in real life. You know.
Yeah.
So there was a scene where Joe Pesci fell on his back, and he kind of looked like Rudy Giuliani when he was scrunching his face up. I thought that was funny.
I felt like the tricks that Kevin was using in this film were increasingly violent.
Yeah. They kind of evolved a little bit.
Yeah.
And it seems like after some of these traps, like, they wouldn't be able to just get up and keep chasing him.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? But, you know. It's weird also that, like, they escaped this prison riot, but they're in regular street clothes. I mean, I guess maybe they stole them at some point, or they don't explain it. Mm-hmm. But,
So then I think that it's just, this is where we have to talk about it. So, like, what is the amount of therapy that this family is going to need? And do they ever let Kevin out of their sight again? Like, how, as a parent, I mean, they're going to be with him on his wedding night. Like, it's never going to happen.
Something's weird going on here.
Yeah.
Where are we at next?
So basically, Kevin prays. All he wants is his mom, and then there she is. So he's at the Christmas tree in Rockefeller Center, and they're reunited.
I feel like some of these notes, like, you had to have written them to know what they mean, because it just says big man coming in clutch delivering his mom, and I was like, okay, the big man in this sense is God.
Yeah.
I was like, is there like a taxi driver that delivered his? What are you talking about? All right, I'm with you now.
So then they go back to the room, and
they're all asleep because it's Christmas Eve.
Right.
No, Fuller's on the bed by himself because nobody wants to sleep next to him because he wets the bed. But by this point in his life, he shouldn't be doing that anymore.
Also, the kid has 6 empty cans of Coke around him. Like, what kind of parents let their kids drink that much Coke at night? I think I said that already. But, like, again, we're returning to that.
Well, then they wake up in the suite and there's Christmas presents everywhere. But it's like, how did they get all those presents in there with nobody waking up or nobody knowing?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's the same thing Tim Curry did, where he just goes in there and starts snooping around and nobody seems to care. One observation that I made, it was right at the end of the movie. Kevin's looking out the window, and it's sort of like in the first one again, going back to the formula where he sees the pigeon lady, and he goes out and talks to her, and he gives her one of the turtle doves he got from the Duncan toy chest. But then he just goes back. But I thought it was weird that he wasn't like, he's like, here, lady, here's a turtle dove. And she's so happy, and they hug, and he goes back. But it's like, it's not like, oh, you know what? We got a free suite at the plaza with room service. Come in there, get something to eat. Like, let me give you a place to stay so you're not literally out in the snow and you're not going to die. And she's like, no, it's cool. Thanks for this turtle dove. That'll help me. And you're supposed to feel all warm and fuzzy about that. But as we've pointed out, every situation has cons, you know.
Gotta go back to my suite at the plaza. Bye.
See you later, Susan Boyle.
So then I have to wonder, how are, like, there were a lot of gifts there. How are they getting all those gifts back to Chicago?
Yeah, I don't know. There's so many plot holes in this movie.
So what do we think happens to Kevin after this?
Well, it's funny you should say that, because a few years ago, they actually did revive the storyline a little bit. There was a Funny or Die video where Kevin is, he's an Uber driver or something, and he like picks this guy up, and you know he like I guess he's like a serial killer. Not really a serial killer, but he ties this guy up, and he's, you know, talking about all of these things that he's going to do to him or whatever. And then Daniel Stern made a YouTube video in character, and he's, oh my God, he's coming to get us, Harry. You got to help us out. And then there was another commercial for the Google Assistant, where they had, like, Kevin had these smart locks on his door and stuff like that. So there has been a little bit of update. There's been a few direct-to-video sequels that do not feature the same characters. I personally tried to watch some of them, and I couldn't get into it. I mean, I don't know. If you like it, good for you, whatever. They weren't for me. One thing I did want to plug here, I guess plug, I don't know if it's really plugging it because it's not my show, but Mark Rober on YouTube collaborated with some other folks who escape me at the moment, but they did a whole special on, or maybe it was the other way around where they collaborated with him, but they did a whole special on like the traps of Home Alone and like what would actually happen to you if somebody caught you in these traps for real. And
spoiler alert, you would die.
They had like ballistics dummies and all kinds of crazy stuff. So that's something cool you can check out on YouTube. There's a Movies That Made Us episode about Home Alone on Netflix, which is, you know, these things are probably a little more informative than us just talking about our experience with the movie. So if you're interested, there's some supplemental information for you to go check out. But yeah, outside of that, I mean, I think despite all of the plot holes that we poked in these movies here, and I think maybe that makes it sound like we didn't enjoy these, it's quite the opposite.
No, we love these
movies. These are great movies, and if you haven't seen them, you need to see them, and you need to share them with people. They're great.
Yeah. They definitely are so good for getting in the holiday spirit, and they're just like genuinely funny. Like I've seen both of them probably hundreds of times, and I still laugh hysterically. And like, it's good, wholesome fun. Like it's just,
yeah.
And now our kids think they're hilarious, and it's just, you know, brings you back to childhood, but also like full circle.
It's a good time.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I think that's really about all. As Forrest Gump would say, that's all I got to say about that.
Yes.
So until next time, let me see if I can even remember what our social media handles are. Okay, Facebook, which is where we're most active, Life in Pictures Podcast.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it's at Life in Pics Pod on everything else.
Yeah.
Right?
I think so.
Instagram, Twitter, and that's it.
Yeah.
Well, we have YouTube. We don't really use it, so I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you want to interact with us, that's how you can do it. Use #NayNay. And
I don't even say that much.
Oh, yes, you do. You say it a lot. You're going to realize it now going forward. Anyway, check us out on those social media platforms. If you want to interact with the show, drop some questions, comments, suggestions. we're glad that you're here and you're listening. And, if you enjoy what you're hearing, leave a review, hopefully a positive one.
Yes.
And, let people know about it. And hopefully you've enjoyed what you've heard. And we'd like to thank you for going to the movies with us. And we hope you've enjoyed your show. Till next time, we'll see you later.